Hello friends, welcome to my channel. In today's analysis video, we are going to cover a very niche company in a sector which is related to animal healthcare, and you have chosen this company in your Telegram poll, which is Sequence Scientific. It's going to be a very interesting case study and I request you to watch till the end. So before we begin, if you're new to the channel, please subscribe and you can follow me on different social media channels as well. So before we begin, we are going to discuss a few terms to understand which we'll be using in today's case study. The first word is API. API is active pharma ingredient. So this is the main content or the main ingredient of any bulk drug or formulation. And formulation is something which is, in easy words, we call it bulk drugs, which is kind of a medicine or anything we take for any disease. And there are two kinds of classifications of animals which are done for the purpose of analysis. First thing is companion animals. These are the pets which we keep them in our surroundings and our house, like dogs, etc. The second one are production animals, which give us things like egg and milk. So broadly, these are the two classifications of the animals which we'll be using in this case study. Now about the company. Sequence Scientific is India's largest animal healthcare company, and it is into APIs and formulations, and it also does contract research for the other companies. It was founded in 1985 and it is headquartered in Maharashtra. Globally, it comes within the top 20 animal healthcare companies of the world, and recently it got acquired by a PE investment firm called Carlyle Group, which is a well-known company or firm in the world. It has branded its animal healthcare division as Alivira, and presently it focuses along with India in markets such as Turkey, Europe, Latin America, and some other emerging markets. It has 8 manufacturing facilities across Europe, Turkey, Brazil, and India. And earlier, Sequence Scientific was also into human pharma business. Recently, in 2017-18 financial year, it got demerged from Sequence Scientific, and then it became a pure play animal healthcare company. It has a manufacturing site in Vizag, which is the only US FDA approved manufacturing facility which is only for veterinary medicines. API division sells more than 30 plus APIs, and it has heavy investments in R&D until now, which is more than $100 million invested. The employee strength is more than 1700, and it has 5 research and development centers across the globe. Now let's talk about the management of the company. The managing director is Mr. Manish Gupta. He's MMS Finance from SP Jain Institute, which is a well-known institute, and he was earlier the CEO of the company, and in 2014 he became the managing director. He has more than 23 years of experience in managing various businesses in India and abroad, and he has played a vital role in sale of certain divisions like Ascent and Agila of Sequence Scientific. He was the ex-CEO of Strides Pharma, and he has also worked with Wockhardt Limited. The joint managing director of the company is Mr. Sharath Narsapur. He holds a degree in chemical engineering from the Institute of Chemical Technology in Mumbai. He also has more than 29 years of experience in chemical and other pharma industries. He has knowledge of managing various businesses which are into multi-location and multi-API and formulations. He has worked with companies like Dr. Reddy's and Ghara Chemicals. He was recently working with Aurobindo Pharma as the Vice President of Operations. Now let's talk about the Carlyle Group taking over of Sequence Scientific and what can happen with this acquisition. Carlyle Group is not just another PE firm of the world. It is one of the world's biggest PE firms which manages largest funds, and it has a lot of exposure and investments in the pharma sector across the globe. And Sequence Scientific believes that after the acquisition of Carlyle Group, this could be an inflection point for a tremendous growth and changes which are going to come in the company. Carlyle Group has also investments in other Indian companies like SBI Life, SBI Card, HDFC, India Infoline, and various other companies. And they have signed a definitive agreement to acquire about 74%, up to 74% stake in Sequence Scientific, which includes about 26% stake from the public also. So as we discussed, it has a history of healthcare investments worldwide. So they bring on table a lot of experience and expertise of managing healthcare companies across the globe. So with their leadership, this company can bring huge changes in the way they manage their business and the way they grow their business. And this is one of the largest deals of Carlyle Group which they have done in an Indian company in this sector, which shows that this group has a lot of confidence in this company as well as this sector in India. Now let's understand the business model of Sequence Scientific. There are broadly 2 divisions. One is animal healthcare and the second one is analytical services. In animal healthcare, they run the business through a brand called Alivira Animal Health Limited, and in this they have 2 segments, which is one is of API and the other is for formulations. In the analytical services, they do it through a subsidiary called Sequent Research Limited. So this is a simple business model. Now let's talk about the segments in detail. In the API segment, they have shown a growth of about 13.9% year on year, and they have done the highest filings by any company in the US in the generic animal health segment. And there has also been margin expansion for this segment, and presently they have commercialized more than 30 APIs. They manufacture these APIs in 3 manufacturing facilities, and out of their total revenue, 67% of the API revenue comes from exports, and asset turnover for this segment is 2.4, which is pretty decent. Now if you see the growth in this segment in comparing Q4 FY21 to the last quarter in the last year, around 3.8% is the growth, and year on year it is about 13.9%. So it is about 456 crores which is coming in FY21 from this segment. Now coming to the next segment, which is formulations. In formulations, they manufacture feed supplements, antibiotics, antibacterial skincare, and various other medicines or drugs for the animals. In this segment, they have market leading positions in certain drugs like Intramammary, Spot-on, and Poron. In this segment, they have more than 35 products which are in the pipeline, and these products are developed in 4 R&D centers across the globe. In the next 3 years, the company is planning to come up in US and European markets with more than 15 new filings, and they have more than 1000 finished dosage forms which are already running under the. These formulations are produced in 5 manufacturing units, and the revenue from their regulated markets for this segment is about 64%, and they have presence in more than 80 countries for their formulation business. Now if you see the growth in this segment, this has grown faster than the API business. It has grown around 29.6% if you see the same quarter of Q4 compared to last year, and it has grown about 16.3% year on year, clocking a revenue of about 905 crores. Coming to the last segment, which is analytical solutions. In this segment, the company does contract research for the other companies. So they are into analytical and bioanalytical services to support the other companies which want to do research in APIs, pharmaceutical, personal care, and even nutraceutical companies. And they provide complete analytical solutions to other companies also. Now coming to the industry analysis, let's understand what are the broad trends in the industry and what is the growth rate in this industry. Still, this industry is in a nascent stage, and there is a lot of headroom for growing into the animal healthcare industry. If you see globally, the animal healthcare market is projected to grow at a CAGR of about 4.9%, reaching a size of about 46.1 billion by CY26. And specifically, if you see about the production animal healthcare market, as we have discussed, there are 2 categories in which we are dividing the animals. The production animal healthcare market is growing at a CAGR of 88.2%, and the companion animal healthcare market is growing at 6.2%. So this is the rate at which the market is growing. And broadly, if you see, out of the entire market size, 60% constitute the production health animals and about 40% the companion animals. Now, it is observed that nearly 20% of the animals are dying every year due to different diseases. So this shows that there is a lot of care to be taken, and there is a lot of scope in this industry for these companies to develop more and more better medicines. And the way the global population is rising, the amount of proteins which we consume, they are expected to grow by more than 74% by 2050. And a lot of us are keeping pets, and the trend of keeping more and more pets in the houses is increasing. And North America is the largest market for these kinds of drugs across the globe. But if you see in terms of speed of growth, the Asia Pacific market is the fastest growing market. And compared to the human healthcare business, the animal healthcare business is less regulated. So it is good for the companies to easily operate in this segment. Now coming to the competitors, I have listed down a few competitors in India and global competitors. A few of them are unlisted companies also. The competitors are like Hester Biosciences, Zydus Animal Health, Intas Animal Health, Bayer Animal Health India, Alembic Animal Health, Vobac, Seva Senti Animal, and Vatocunisol SA, Idvet. So these are the few competitors of this company. Now, what is the competitive strength of this company compared to the others? They invest a lot in research and development, and their product range is their strength. They have market leadership in a lot of products in formulations, as we have discussed. And now with the promoter becoming the Carlyle Group, they bring on the table a lot of experience and expertise of managing various pharma companies. So that becomes a competitive advantage over the other companies in the same sector. They have very good manufacturing facilities. They have a very wide, diversified portfolio of products. Consistently, they have been filing for new products, and they have been also acquiring companies wherever they find scope. Now, what could be the different growth prospects and how is Sequent Scientific expected to grow in the near future? Post acquisition of Carlyle Group, what the company believes is Sequent 1.0 is done, and we are yet to see Sequent 2.0. So you can see drastic changes in the company, and they plan to become, or they aim to become, one of the biggest in the animal healthcare industry across the globe. They have been finding alternate vendors for their raw materials because of the supply disruptions across the globe post COVID. They are also changing their strategic plans and identifying areas where they can operate with better efficiencies. They are enhancing their capacities and also their technical abilities. They recently commercialized their first product formulation developed in the Indian R&D Center in Europe, and they also launched products like Citremox LA and Havosofol in the European markets. They also commercialized their first formulation in the US, Canada, and Australian markets, and they also signed a CDMO contract with a very big healthcare company for outsourcing their business. They have also onboarded several experts to guide them after the acquisition from Carlyle Group, and they have recently expanded their capacities in their Vizag plant. They are coming up with more than 15 formulation filings and more than 8 API filings which are there in the pipeline, and they plan to enter into various other geographies of the world, and they are also looking for various acquisitions to speed up their inorganic growth. What could be the different risks which this company might face? Since it's a global company, it faces risk of global competition. They have to continuously innovate, otherwise the technology and the drugs will become obsolete. They have to comply with different regulations across the globe. If the industry is affected or comes into different cycles, the company also gets affected. There are forex fluctuations which will affect the company as it's into a global business, and they have to plan their capacities of production according to the demand and supply needs. Otherwise, there could be excess expenditures which they have to meet. Now coming to the financial part, starting with the quarterly numbers compared to the last quarter in Q4 FY20, comparing it with Q4 FY21, if you see, the revenue has grown about 20% to 362 crores. EBITDA has de-grown about 13% to 44 crores. This is because of a one-time cost of about 115 crores in Q4 FY21. And EBITDA margins have again gone down to 12.2% because of this one-time cost. PAT is about 21 crores, which is up by 23.5%, and PAT margins have improved to 5.8%. So if there were no one-time costs, the EBITDA and profit after tax would have been much higher with better margins. Now coming to the yearly numbers, the revenue is growing at a CAGR of about 18.79%, which is pretty good. And EBITDA is growing at a CAGR of about 49%. Again, in this, if you see on a yearly basis in FY21, there's a one-time cost of 158 crores. Otherwise, the EBITDA would have been much higher. And the EBITDA margins are about 16% now, improving from 6% in FY17. So margins are also expanding. Coming to the profit after tax, it has an abnormal increase in FY18 because of exceptional item. And in FY21, they have clocked a profit after tax of 95 crores. So if I see the last 3 years CAGR, it comes to around 39%. The profit after tax margins are somewhere around 7%. If you see, there's a constant improvement in the last 3 years. And if you see the EPS, it has gone up from 1.97 rupees to 3.84 rupees. The share capital is fairly consistent. Change in reserves is due to the demerger of the human API business. Otherwise, the reserves are stable around 678 crores in FY21. The borrowings have gone down from 416 crores in FY17 to 197 crores in FY21, which is a good sign. And the fixed assets are fairly stable around 538 crores. The decrease in fixed assets in FY18 was again due to the demerger of the human API business. Inventories are fairly steady, and there is no abnormal increase in the inventories. Trade receivables are also stable, and there is no abnormal increase in the trade receivables. So you can see the stock is moving fine, and their collectibles are also going fine. Cash and cash equivalents are about 56 crore on the balance sheet of FY21, and that's fairly stable. And the free cash flow was negative in the earlier years, has turned positive in FY19, and there are about 62 crores of free cash flows in FY21. ROC is improving from 9% to 17%. So recently they are also reporting an ROC about more than 20% in the recent quarter. The return ratios are improving. Debtor days are going down, so that's also a good sign as they are receiving the money faster. Inventory turnover ratio is fairly stable above 5, which shows that the stock is moving fine. Now let's come to the shareholding. The promoters hold about 53.86%, which is the Carlyle Group. FII is about 13.6%, DI is about 2.49%. So there's decent investment by the institutional investors in the company. Around 29.46% is with the general public. The promoters holding has slightly reduced in the recent quarters, so there's not much of a difference, but if the reduction continues, then it could be a concern for us. FII holding has gone up, which is a good sign, and that's about 13.6% now. Now, the other financial highlights are in FY21, there was an overall growth about 15.5% in the formulations, as the formulations grew better than the API business. And the formulations business has done their best ever quarterly performance in the Q4 FY21. This was mainly driven by the growth in the markets of India, which is nearly doubled, and Latin America and Turkey. The debt equity ratio is very much under control at 0.27. There are no suspicious related party transactions in the company, and recently the board has recommended a dividend of about 25% for FY21. The stat auditors of the company are SRBC and Company LLP, and the remuneration to managing directors in the last year was about 2.4 crores, which is well within the Companies Act limit. Now coming to the valuations part, the last traded price was around 300 rupees, 52-week high and low is about 100 to 336. So in the last 1 year, it has given a very good return. The last 5 years about 19%, 3 years about 80% CAGR, and in the last 1 year, it has given a return of about 183%. So in terms of stock movement, the stock is performing very well and delivered good returns for its investors. The market cap of the company is around 7,500 crore and P is about 74. And median PE, if you see in the last 5 years, is about 41, and industry PE is about 23. EPS is about 3.84 rupees, and the face value is 2 rupees. Book value is about 29.4, which brings us to a price book ratio of 10.4. So now, if you see these figures in terms of PE and in terms of price to book ratio, both the valuations are expensive. Now, considering this valuations expensive and the median PE around 40 for the last 5 years, let's see the chart. In the chart, if you see somewhere around 225 to 250 range, this could be a strong support zone whenever the stock is under a correction or the market crashes. And in that range, if you see the PE as per FY21 EPS, it comes to around 58. Now, post acquisition of the Carlyle Group and also with the one-time cost which has incurred in FY21, in the coming years, we can expect the company to do much better, and the valuation of 58 might further go down if you can get the stock in this range. Please do remember this is not a stock recommendation, but I am analyzing for you to easily take a decision whether you should invest in the company and at what levels it could be reasonable to get into the stock. Now coming to the recent news and announcements, it recently got a EU GMP approval for one of its products in the Turkey market. So this is about Sequent Scientific. To summarize, the management is quite well experienced, and the recent acquisition by Carlyle Group opens a lot of opportunities for this company, and a lot of global support comes into the picture. The fundamentals have been good and now they have been improving steadily. It's one of the leaders in this sector. It's the biggest animal healthcare company in India. It has diversified business across the globe and it still has a lot of scope to enter into various geographies. It has shown decent growth in the past and maintained the debt under control. And they have been continuously launching new products, and there are a lot of new products in the pipeline also. The animal healthcare segment, as we have discussed, it is still in the nascent stage and there's a lot of headroom for growing in this industry. But since it's a global company, it has to compete with various companies across the globe. And in terms of valuation, it's not coming cheap. So you have to enter the company at the right levels. So this is about Sequent Scientific. I hope you like the video, and if you like the video, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. And you can follow me on Twitter as well, where I keep sharing a lot of wisdom tweets. And you are free to join our Telegram channel where I post daily market analysis. And for the upcoming videos, for which company you want me to make the next analysis, feel free to comment the name of the company in the comments, and I'll consider that surely for the upcoming videos. So thank you for watching this video and have a wonderful day.